it's a million degrees below zero, so pardon the layers. But I just finished Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen. I've read this one before, but I'm doing a marathon of all of Jane Austen's books in order because I've only read 3 of them. So I wanted to read all of them and I want to read them all in order. So revisiting Sense and Sensibility was interesting because this has been my favorite of her books so far. But this time around, I didn't really get into the relationships as much. Now, the book itself is still fantastic. Her writing style for a debut novel is really incredible, and the characters come off the page and everything. It's just the relationships aren't that developed. We don't see a lot of growth. It's more like the main characters sort of have different perceptions of the male love interests at the beginning and then at the end, and we see how that changes. But I feel like a lot of why I love this one in the past was because of the movie version with Emma Thompson and Alan Rickman and all them, because that one really does a whole lot of extra work to sort of add moments to make the male love interest sort of compelling and lovable. Like there's the scene that isn't in the book, in the movie, where it's Edward Ferrars and Eleanor, and they're talking, and they're trying to get her sister Margaret out from under the table, and she's got this big world atlas that she's obsessed with, and so they start like intentionally saying like false geography facts just to force her to come out from under the table and like correct them, and so they can kind of whatever. And it's like a cute moment, and you've got Edward sort of playing along with this, and they kind of bond over their kind of personality. I don't know, like there's stuff in the movie that isn't in the book, and I hate to say it, but I almost like the movie better than the book. That's terrible. But this book is still fantastic. Like the way that she writes people, the way she writes annoying people, and like catty, manipulative people, and like it's still really, really good. But I think the relationship feels a little perfunctory. It's sort of like you don't really get a lot of time with the male love interests, and at the end it's just sort of like, well, things have sort of worked out, so I guess I can marry you now. And it kind of, I don't know, the relationships sort of feel like they're thrown at the last minute, but that's okay. Still excited, going to continue the marathon, and next up is Pride and Prejudice.